Hello, dear everyone. Welcome back, all of you, to the Awakening Emotions program on the YouTube channel you're watching. Dear audience, in this episode, I will bring joy, faith, and a ray of hope. Even if you're already happy, I think you will still need this ray of hope because it will stay with us our whole lives. And of course, if you are currently in a state of sadness or even despair, then you need this ray of hope even more. Because hope, while it cannot replace action, it is what drives action from behind, pushing us forward, pushing us to try, even when we have no reason or belief to rise. Hope is ultimately the last thing that can keep us standing and prevent us from falling. For me, truly, hope plays a significant role in our lives, although I must clarify, action for me is still paramount. But there are times, truly, when without hope, it's extremely difficult to take action. So what is hope? This particular episode was truly inspired by a quote from Carl Jung. How do you pronounce it correctly? Carl Jung. I think Jung is right. He was a Swiss psychiatrist, and he's very famous for the school of thought called analytical psychology. And this man is truly a legend, folks. So among his countless quotes, there's one I really love. It's very inspiring, folks. The quote is, "The afternoon of life must also have a meaning of its own and cannot be merely a pitiful appendage to life's morning." That's the quote. I'll also say, I'm not quoting that to say this article is only for the elderly. No, this article actually, if I had to say, it's even more for young people, folks. I'll explain later. For now, I just want you to grasp the rough idea, the basic sense of this quote. Then we'll delve deeper. The afternoon of life must also carry some meaning. Don't let it just be a pitiful version of the morning. That means every minute, every second we live, it must have some meaning. It must have some driving force. It cannot simply be a decline, a normal letting go, folks, because it will turn us into disillusioned and frustrated people in this life. And there's a hidden meaning in this quote that I truly realize myself, folks, and I find it meaningful to me. That hidden meaning is that when we live, we shouldn't be too rigid, folks. Don't be like, that's just how I am. That's my destiny. That's my habit. I can't change it, for example. Don't be like that, because we are much more flexible and capable of change than we imagine, dear friends. Let's not cling stubbornly to our beliefs. Change is normal. Living differently is normal. Keep what's good. Boldly change what's not good for me. If we live that way, from a young age, we'll have a progressive mindset, a forward-thinking one, folks. And we'll get used to change. We'll get used to fluctuations. We just live very simply. Whatever we see as good and truly brings good results, we continue to maintain. As for anything that after we review, reflect on, and analyze we find isn't good, isn't effective, it brings many negative consequences to our lives, boldly let it go. Boldly let it go. Don't be rigid. Don't be stubborn. Don't be conservative. Then you can live at any age that way. No matter how you live, you will find meaning. You will progress. You will have a new life, and you will merge into the flow of life. That's the truth, folks. That's the way to swim with life, not to be its victim. Let me give an example. For instance, in the current era, many people are starting to fear AI, especially those in the programming industry, folks, and design and content, that is, content creation. Many people are very scared, and I've even talked to a few programmers, and some of them even hate AI, folks. I asked why they hate it, and the vast majority are afraid AI will take their jobs. Because truly, people are now applying AI in coding, folks. Many companies now instruct AI to write code, and programmers just sit and check it. And some even scream in shock, "Oh my God, AI writes even more concisely than I do. And when I sit and check it, it's so easy." So, of course, we know very well that in the future, simple jobs will be taken by AI. We see it clearly. Because just think simply like this.
A company, instead of hiring 5 people to do those simple, repetitive tasks, now only needs to hire one person. They instruct AI to write, and that one person just checks it, post-audits it, verifies it. If it's good, they push it. If not, they fix it further. Like that, one person can do the work of 5 people now. And I'm saying 5 people is conservative. So the prospect of job loss due to AI is very clear. So many people are rightly scared. But why should we be stubborn? Why should we cling to our old way of thinking? Why in our minds, when we're still so young, is there almost a fixed idea that I must write that code myself? Well, it's not even certain that I can write it more concisely or better than AI. Whatever we do better, we should keep doing. Here, I'm not advocating, but there are clearly things that are repetitive, simple, and you see, AI does them much faster than you. So we have to admit, there are some things that other guy does better than me. So we have to learn to use it to adapt. Don't be stubborn. And whatever we are confident we do better than AI, then let's continue to do it. Then we can integrate and harmonize with it instead of waiting for it to come to our company, disrupt things, and take our jobs. So now you can proactively seek it out yourself, right? Be proactive and find it first. Be proactive and learn about applications that use AI in programming, for example, translating it to Vietnamese for easy understanding, and many other applications. Instead of waiting for it to come, we proactively learn about it, we proactively master it, become pro at it, folks, so that if our company has a shift from manual labor, from human-powered work to AI, we can raise our hands and volunteer. Isn't that seizing an opportunity? And those are the angles for us to seize opportunities and move forward. It's funny that what's a threat to others is an opportunity for those people. In reality, it's also fair, because if you're progressive, open-minded, and proactively seek knowledge, then you reap the rewards accordingly. So your attitude towards life needs to be very clear, folks. Open-minded, reflective, and always every day sum things up. Whatever feels right, effective, brings you peace, tranquility, success, etc., keep it. Whatever doesn't feel right, analyze it, pay attention to it, and change it. It's that simple. Now I'll read Carl Jung's quote again. Don't let the afternoon of life become merely a pitiful version of the morning. So I say, even a 25-year-old, 27-year-old who gets replaced by AI, isn't that facing an afternoon at a very early age? Oh, what a tragedy. And this afternoon, the afternoon of the Earth, often we can't influence it because it's a cosmic law. But the afternoon of our own lives, if you wish, you can make it bright forever. Honestly, for someone who loves learning, enjoys staying up to date, enjoys researching, and has a daily habit of self-development, then the afternoon either doesn't exist or it comes very late, folks. Health is the same. Health is a story where we're born and we develop naturally. In the early stage, we're given it for free. That's true. Many cases I've observed, I see that even someone who lives without caring about their health, even neglecting it, around under 30, they're almost perfectly fine, no health issues at all. And this very fact makes many people complacent. They think they can stay healthy forever, but they don't know they are gradually using up and depleting their health. Until one day, quickly, some people even at just 29, 30 are already facing issues like back pain, degenerative diseases, or panting when climbing stairs. Not to mention more subtle issues that require measurements to know about, such as fatty liver, high cholesterol, for example, or blood pressure, pulse, etc., right? And red blood cells, hemoglobin, etc. There are many folks, they don't know when these things come. So there are many people who become careless. They don't pay attention, folks. So the afternoon of their health comes very early, folks. Isn't that frustrating? But this is not destiny. Every person must be conscious not just of preserving, but also of upgrading and nourishing their health. That's not a choice like I like to, so I'll do it, or I don't like to, so I won't. But rather, it's best to even view it as an obligation and responsibility to yourself. Because if you don't do that, you will almost certainly be a victim of the afternoon of health. And that will come earlier and earlier. Habits like snacking, consuming too much sugar, too much salt, too much unhealthy fat, staying up late, not getting enough sleep, sitting too much, not exercising, and constantly living under pressure. Oh, that combo is a combo that spares no one in this modern era, especially young people, those who are still young.
Whether you want to live healthy or not, live well or not, every day you almost have to endure those impacts. So we must be responsible. We must have a plan so that our health doesn't become an afternoon, and especially not an early afternoon. You have to try. You have to make an effort. Observe your life again. See if you have any habits that are good, then keep them. If a habit isn't good, gradually reduce it. Gradually. Adjust it little by little so that your life first maintains health and second, once maintained, upgrade it. So folks, there are very simple things that I repeat many times and maybe you don't see them as important, but actually they are important. For example, at 8 a.m., do you feel uncomfortable? Do you ever feel low on energy when that time should ideally be very vibrant? Do you often have headaches? Do you often have back pain? I'm not saying I'm promoting myself, let's put me aside and talk about knowledge. The wisdom, the knowledge itself, sometimes if you don't practice those simple wisdoms, it leaves consequences on your own back, your shoulders, your headaches, you see? Because we don't link cause and effect. Sometimes we think that, oh, the afternoon of our health is just some kind of random occurrence, right? Just back pain, probably because of this. Headaches, probably because of this. This. Sometimes we don't care, but those things all have causes. Obvious causes are immediate causes, and earlier I listed a series of combos that you have to endure every day. With those combos that you endure, from eating habits to daily living habits to stress, sitting without exercising, etc., such a brutal combo, how can it not leave consequences? In fact, it's inevitable that it leaves consequences, and it's truly unfair and irresponsible. How can it be if we don't do something to stop it? So if we don't try, the afternoon will come early, almost certainly. So please, we must have flexibility, be open to our lives. Change, folks. If it's not good, change it. If it's not good, change it. Don't be stubborn. Don't say but. Don't say this and that. Change little by little if that helps. As I've told you before, if you're used to staying up late, then now, every day, go to bed 1 minute earlier. That's fine. So, at the very least, after a month, you'll be sleeping 30 minutes earlier, right? After 6 months, you'll be sleeping a full 3 hours earlier. No, I'm not joking. It's all possible. Just follow those simple things as long as they are good. And try to reflect at the end of the day, today, what was good. I will commit to maintaining it tomorrow. What wasn't good? I will commit to reducing it a little tomorrow. That's how to steer life and make your life good. Of course, that way, clearly, your life will become more positive every day. More positive, right? And it will lessen negativity. Even if you have a habit of being eager to learn, then even more good new things will be added. More good new things. If you live like that, how can your life have something called a pitiful afternoon? Because you are always discovering new things, that's the first. You reduce the bad, that's the second. And you develop the good, that's the third. With a life like that, where can you find a sunset, folks? Every second, every minute, every day is a new discovery. Maybe you don't feel this, but rationally, you know perfectly well it's good. And I don't believe anyone in this world doesn't want a life like that, truly, deep down. So I wish all of you a wonderful life like that. Of course, it doesn't happen naturally. Most people don't believe in these things because they may have tried and failed, so they don't believe. But failure in life is normal. What doesn't fail, right? Many people try once or twice and don't succeed, then give up. No, I'll try again. I'll keep trying and I will succeed. That's the story. It's like I often tell you, Now, you mix a bowl of fish sauce. You think it's simple, but it's highly likely that you will mess up the first time. So, if you can fail even at a bowl of fish sauce, imagine bigger things. But it's okay, folks. What's the big deal? You mix it again a second time, mix it a third time, and by the nth time, it'll be done. So it is with the efforts and striving in our lives. If the first time doesn't work, there's the second time, because the second time will usually be better than the first. If the second time doesn't work, there's the third time. Don't overthink it. And then we'll be able to do things that a year ago or even 6 months ago we wouldn't have dreamed we could do. This is normal, folks. Many of us underestimate our own positive development, folks, while in reality, it's incredible. When you change, it's incredible, folks. Many people I've known would pant climbing stairs, couldn't handle it, but after a while, they did just 2 things. 1, stopped eating dinner, and 2, started exercising lightly. I tell you, you wouldn't believe it. After a few months, like 6 or 7 months, they were exercising like oxen. Relentlessly, folks. This is what I saw with my own eyes. They exercised for hours without breaking a sweat, folks. Just did 2 things. Started exercising lightly, gradually, and second, stopped eating dinner. That's all, and those very people and they themselves couldn't imagine how much they had changed. So, take those good paths, and the reward will come. It won't escape. If you feel these words are cliché, then every morning when you wake up, just check your mood. If you find you're not happy, not feeling well, not reaching the level of satisfaction you want, then please try these cliché things, okay? Because deep down, you know they're good. I'm practically begging you. Thank you all very much for listening to me. Now, goodbye, and see you again next week, folks. Keep trying, keep trying.